Chief, can you tell me a little about? Obviously, we're learning more about what happened yesterday's incident down at the marina, but your thoughts on it?
Yeah, listen, this is once again, where community comes together to help emergency services. Yesterday evening, beautiful evening, people were down enjoying our wonderful waterfront, and a young man here was here doing his business with paddleboarding, and we had a tragic circumstance that was averted, and that we had a young 3-year-old fall into the water here, and was having some difficulty getting out of the water. And here's these circumstances, they are ever changing around the waterfront. So in this case, a good citizen took it upon himself to intervene, pulled a young lad, 3 years old, out of the water, got him into the hands of the right medical EMS professionals, and what could have been a really tragic story early in this summer was averted by the great work for our community.
I guess this is a lesson too. Life jackets near waterways for.
Yeah, like we were talking about, well, it looks pretty shallow here, but you know what? It doesn't take anything for a young lad and circumstances. And to the parents out there, you need to be attentive. When you're around the waterfront with your young children, they're very fast, and when we're down in the waterfront, we're asking you to obey all those rules, and no drinking while you're down here, and just enjoy the waterfront. And we want to try to get through this summer as safe as possible and make sure we enjoy this space. But again, I want to reiterate how lucky we are to have people in this town who care and step in when they have to.
Right, tell me, I guess, basically you've mentioned it, but I mean, tell me what you were doing down here at the time.
Just came down at the end of the day to set up for paddleboard lessons in the class that we were going to have. Showed up a little early and just walked out onto the accessibility dock to just look around and see how that new dock looked. And the little guy and his dad came over to us, and he was interacting with me, the little one, and the dad was a little back further, and next thing you know, before you knew it, the little guy was on the accessibility dock and into the water, and my next move was jumping right into the water and just keep my head above the water when I go in and sweep up and try and get him. And I had to get him off the bottom.
Right here?
Yeah, there it is. There's that fucking lid I pulled out of. I pulled this lid off of his head when he came up out.
Oh, yeah.
See, see this here? Okay. So he went in, I went there, and came to him there. Right.
Could you see him?
Yeah, I kept eyes on him the whole time because my head was up out of the water.
When you did that, it must have just happened within seconds, but I mean, what went through your head? Shock?
No, what went through my head is, okay, he's in the water, start counting. I started counting. By the time I had him up and back blows on him, it was about 5 to 6 seconds. He didn't spit water out initially when he came up, but we got him to spit the water out after a few black blows and got his arms up, and then got him away from the water. And it was just, didn't really think. You just see what's there and you go in. At least that's what went through my head at that time, and I'm happy it did.
Nobody else around at the time?
No, it was weird. It was one of the quietest times I've ever seen down here. That's why I went down to the accessibility dock just to look around. It was pretty calm.
Second time you wanted to, for anything for safety, you just wanted them to have a life jacket.
Yeah, so that's something. The second time, they were still hanging around down here, and I just noticed that there was still no life jacket, and I ran over and got a life jacket and made sure it fit him and adjusted him and put it on him. And I think the father wanted to try to introduce him again to water and swim a little bit with him, but luckily we were still there again to help them both out at that time.
He went in, he had trouble, so the father went in to rescue him?
No, the father and him both, walked in together like you usually see, and unfortunately there's something happened. I wasn't sure, but I just heard the kid screaming help me for the second time, so I ran over and just picked him up and didn't let him go.
Father got out on his own?
Father got out on his own. Yeah, he got out. It's I put a post out on Facebook last night about, if you have a life vest, wear it, but the most important thing is make sure that thing fits. It's situated to the proper poundage. It's on the kid properly. that's the biggest thing. If you're just going to put a life jacket on a kid that doesn't fit, it's like a helmet that doesn't fit. It's just as important. Life jackets are number one. When we're at the cottage, my daughter's in a life jacket the whole entire time from the dock, and we're 300 feet from the water. It's just she's in a life jacket, and you know, it's things make mistakes. I've made mistakes myself, and at the end of the day, it's just another wake-up call, and it's not to take from anybody or put anybody down, but things happen and mistakes happen, and that's what happened.
Forgive me, you were at the entrance to the dock, for lack of a better word?
No, I was kind of down near the end of the dock, midsection of the dock, and that's kind of where I noticed the little guy coming up on the dock and his dad coming towards the dock. So that's when I kind of just started paying quite a bit of attention.
When he went in, when you dove in, you were saying before you dove over him?
Yes, not okay. So I should clarify, not really over him, but when he went in, I made sure that when I went in, I could keep my head above the water to keep eyes on him and put my body in between him and the bigger water, because I didn't want him going out. Even watching him go in, he went at least 5 feet from the dock within that matter of time. It was very fast.
And he was on the bottom?
Unfortunately, yes.
And you could see you showed where you moved the algae with your hands to pick him up.
Yeah, there's definitely some disruptions down there. It was I was not able to touch. I think I was still treading water at the time when I was back blowing.
You got him with your hands though?
Yeah, I got him with both my hands, brought him right up, and then flipped him right over and just started giving his back blows to make sure that I could get anything out. I don't know if that was the right thing to do, but it was the thing that worked at that time, and thankfully I think he's doing all right. And you know, the most important thing of this is water safety and having your kids in an arm's reach. This wasn't my kid, but I've got a 3-year-old, and it's definitely an eye-opener for me. So at the end of the day, it's, you know, just making sure arms reach away and life jackets are on, and number one, not you know, doing anything before you come out to make sure you're in a good mindset to be around your kids.